Hi, my name is Keith Wan. I'm a solutions architect at Qualitrol Tech. Today I'm going to show you a quick demo of our electronic invoice solution from a partner onboarding team user point of view. And then I would like also to share with you some of the experiences we gathered through our implementation with our customers, which I think will be helpful for you to improve your electronic invoicing process. To start with, a couple of facts I found interesting, and we realized about 80% of customers are using 5% of the formats of Excel or PDF. For this particular customer implementation, the most used formats are shared by among 3,000 some customers. And the least amount used formats among the top 5% is still shared by about 200 customers. So as you can see, there's a fair amount of standard formats that can be leveraged or reused. However, we also realized that 1 in 20 customers likely needs a different format. Different means there's a significant difference where a standard format just does not fit. So this sort of a experience we gathered through our years of experience working with customer is one of the factors promote us to have a design, have a solution that helps customer to improve their electronic invoice. So before we go into details, let me show you quickly on some of the common invoices that we have been working with. This is one that's quite standard. As you can see, invoice has a logo, has an invoice number, has accounts shipped to, and the quantity description, etc. Now you also realize this invoice numbers are different. So this particular invoice contains multiple invoices. And on the bottom of this invoice, we have total, grant total. So this is a quite standard that we can create and use in our solution. Another example I wanted to show you is an invoice that's multiple tabs. Yes, read only. Start with the remit to section. Again, the payable address, invoice to address, etc. And a summary contain grant total, amounts, and the detail tab that contain more details on the invoices and order number and the quantity, etc. So let's see. Traditionally, to produce such invoice, and one would most likely to code using Visual Basic or some Microsoft proprietary technology. So that physically, some developers need to create that code and work with the Microsoft worksheet and the workbook, work with columns, with labels, with data, very detailed level. And so we realized that then, so we designed this template-based approach. What the thinking process is, okay, if we can hide all those details that user has to know about Excel or VBA, hide those, then being taken care only by the system or machine, then only leave users a configurable aspect that will definitely cut down the amount of user interventions needed to produce an invoice. So let me show you what I mean by a template. I already have this template open. Actually, this is a template that's match up with this particular invoice I'm showing. Okay, on the invoice that's generated, we're on the detail page, detail tab. So if I switch back to the template, go to detail tab, then you can see, okay, I have the similar layout and invoice heading, and you have invoice number, invoice line, PO number, etc. that sort of a match up with my resulting invoice. Then this one also has a summary. Okay, let me switch back to template, go to summary tab. Yeah, look very similar. And if I go back to my actual invoice, there's remit to section. And switch back to the templates, there's a remit to tab. So layout wise is really what the users see on the template, and it really translates well to the result file. With the main difference is that if I go to my template, go to details, then you see, in addition to this sort of labels or column, now we have the labels or expression using curly bracket. So that's the unique way for our solution to allow user to express. You put in placeholders so that at runtime this data actually will be filled in. Then the proper loop, proper condition will be filled in, and so an invoice can be generated. So let me start showing you a couple of simple tasks, but also common tasks a onboarding user can do. So let's say I'm looking at this template. I say I want to change the label. I just don't want to use num. It's because it's too wide. I'm going to use pound sign. And same thing for PO number. I want to use pound sign. And also I have, this is for deliver to name. And this is for release. Oh, actually, this is for order date. So let's say I wanted to put the order date in front of the deliver to name. So what I can do is I just did an Excel operation. I just swapped these two columns. Okay, I did that. So now deliver to name is behind it, PO date. Then my PO num become a pound sign. So I change the label and I switch around a couple columns. Let me save it. Okay. So this need to be the saved updated template need to be uploaded to the server to run. Okay, so this is what user do. Nothing else, no programming here. So we just update the templates, make that change, and then we send up to the server. So now you get the sense what we wanted to do is have the server to rerun the data and produce an invoice that is using the updated format. So let's see. Let's do that. So I need to go to the administration. Then I have a simple user interface allowed input. Okay, I'm going to select input file. This is a test file I've been using. It's an XML actually. So I'm going to give a unique name just in case. I don't want any duplicates. Okay, this is uploaded. By doing this, I basically sent up a input file, and what I expected is this file would run through our solution, match up with a template, a new invoice should be generated, and then I want to see the changes I made. Okay, I need to go to that result directory. It's a different folder. Refresh. I see one as 123. This is the one that's new. Okay, take this down here to my local. Now open this up. Yes, read only. That's fine. So really, I didn't make any changes to remit to or summary. I just made changes to detail. So yeah, so notice that the pound sign is here, and I also made a pound sign to order number. Then I might deliver to name now should be behind order date. So you can see just by cut paste and quickly modify in Excel without coding, I can upload my templates, rerun the data, and here we go. We have a new format. It's just quick and simple. And so now I want to spend a little bit of time just to explain and show you how the data come through. And it's very quick. So as you can see, this is detailed invoice number, and this is the invoice number. I just copy it. This one No. So the input file I used is actually an XML. As I said, this is what we were able to do is standardize the format for invoice. So that way the invoice solution, electronic invoice solution, knows what to expect from input data point of view. And so in this case, if I search for this particular invoice number, you can see it actually appear in multiple places in XML. Original invoice number, original invoice number, etc. So that's okay. It's just been same information. It's been repeated at the different places of this XML. The key is our invoice solution, our templates know where this data is. So then to show that, what I want to do is quickly make some changes. I can just change this data from this invoice, pretending I'm getting another invoice with the NNN in the end. Let me replace all. Okay, it's been replaced. Let me save this, save as. Maybe I can just say I have 4 N's in this file. Maybe save it as XML. Okay. So once this saved, I can load it. Need to refresh here, upload input. This is the newly modified or updated input file. Maybe I just gave a different name, 4N. Okay. So we uploaded the input file again. So again, I may expect another run of this. And so if I check my result, I should see a new Excel format, Excel invoice. Let me bring that down to my local, copy it. Yes, read only. So again, go to details. So what I want to see is because I changed the input file, now the invoice showed, okay, whatever the data was in the input then shows up dynamically. Okay. So let me recap what I just showed you and also how that compared to the traditional approach. I mean, this is how we started for this particular project. And this customer, when they produced electronic invoice, they had to do 2 steps. One is data transformation, where they have some developer need to write this code, transform the backend file format to an intermediate format. Then the other was the presentment. That's where a programmer, a Visual Basic programmer, need to write this code. Okay, need to work with columns I and J's and M and P, etc., and to present a Excel workbook and contain sheets and different columns of cells. It's very low level effort by 2 different developers. Then this is what I have shown you. And a template based, for most cases, it is truly what you see is what you get. And the user can simply manipulate the look and the layout of spreadsheets. Basically, it's all Excel operation. You just change the label and switch around. Then it is truly easy and certainly make it a lot faster. So furthermore, on the process, again, the context is the particular projects we worked with this customer. Now, when we initially look at their old process, then we counted as much as 10 steps were needed among 3 different roles. That is partner onboarding, developer 1, developer 2. As you can see, the whole process, starting from the initial interaction with the customer on their requirement through the validation of a sample to a final implementation of a particular invoice, it takes so many steps, and certainly No doubt this will take days to get to the endpoint, even for a relatively standard requirement. And versus Qual UltraTech's EI solution, with this solution, and we can have partner onboarding team without involvement of developers to work with the customer's requirement on a relatively standard format or requirement that could take as little as 2 steps. Then the implementation cycle is just much shorter. So let me take you through our UI for user point of view and show you some of the basic functionality. To begin with, we have to have a customer setup. So this solution right now, what I'm showing is we're setting up the build tools. This is to say we have a customer configuration where multiple build tool is supported. Each build is given a unique identifier. So this here you also need to specify what format this particular build tool would receive. In this case, it's a PDF, and with that PDF, what template? I mean, here is important information you need to select. Then this is a as you notice, we have a lot of templates here. So we just we know this customer we have. This is PWBC, which is rather a standard template we can use for this customer. Then among the informations, we need to specify the email recipient's email address. So this is the email address we'll be receiving this particular invoice. So you can see we can customize this to support multiple formats as needed. But in general, we realize there's really not a whole lot of formats. As I said, it probably be a better idea just keep this for Excel and a PDF. And again, you can do Excel and then a matchup with a different template. So that will generate a different look and contain different information. And then you can put the invoice. So additional email address will be receiving invoice for this particular customer. And of course, I wanted to show you some ideas. And then for this particular project, we have configured additional customizable features, like we can allow to sort different items, different columns of this template, and you have a sort to, and you can do a subtotal for a particular column, and this allows the user to have the ability to split out having invoices per invoice, email per invoice, basically one file per invoice instead of one file with multiple invoices by just selecting this. And you can have a pre-processed service just in case there's very specific requirement and is needed for a particular customer, but still be able to leverage a standard template or standard format. So all of the setups are customizable, and so just for different customers, different projects, the information, generally they are very standard, but always they're custom or very specific information may be needed by a particular project. Then our solution can easily accommodate those. So the other area I wanted to show you is okay, let's see an invoices solutions put in process. It's running, it's processing invoice files, daily invoices, monthly, etc. So a user can come here to see, like I can search based on TP code or based on this particular build tool identification. So that is if I do a search, I can see, okay, I have today I have this many files ran through the system, and then there for this particular ID, which associated with the customer. Then is using this template, the email has been sent to this particular email address. These are all PDF because this is what I've been using. And if you select any one of this view history, then you can see as many system logs or audit logs you have as far as, okay, this has been the file's been downloaded or received from the backend system. It's gone through the formatting. It's been emailed, or actually the email is successful, etc. As you can see, the reprocess file and the reprocess and resend functionality is available right here. It's pretty straightforward. So in case for let's say if any of this failed, then you should be able to see from the audit history some failures, and it will tell you the details about what happened. And typically, the user can just do a resend or reprocess as needed. So these are the two functionalities that user need to perform. One is the configuration through administration. The other one is research and show the transaction analysis through invoices file. You can search based on ID, based on template name, based on time frame, and also you can search based on errors. So which means the user can come in and say what have failed. Then you can quickly get to the reprocess aspect. So that is as much time I have for demo today, and I'd like to leave with you some of the facts. And for this particular EI project, using our EI solution and framework, and the customer was able to achieve 80% reduction of onboarding. In average, an onboarding which normally took 5 days now takes a few hours or just 1 day. So this particular project, we have helped the customer to migrate 10,000 plus customers and 20,000 plus bill tools. And there are 500 different formats of Excel and a PDF. And so this solution currently is processing 50,000 or so invoice batch files per month. This is just number of files. Within a file, you can have multiple invoices. So the solution is robust, very reliable. Then we realize what the initial promise of with the solution, the onboarding time will be significantly reduced. Thank you very much for your time. Please let us know for any questions.